Hello, listeners, and welcome to our biography narration. Today, we're diving into the story of one of the most iconic figures in science and human history, Albert Einstein. Let's begin at the very start of his extraordinary journey. Part 1. Childhood and Background. Albert Einstein was born on March 14, 1879, in the city of Ulm, in the Kingdom of Württemberg, Germany. He was the first child of Hermann Einstein, an electrical engineer, and Pauline Koch, a homemaker who loved classical music. As a baby, Einstein worried his family because he was a late talker. In fact, he didn't speak fluently until he was about 4 years old. But behind this quiet demeanor was an unusually curious mind. From a young age, he was fascinated by light, magnetism, and the mysteries of the universe. His family soon moved to Munich, where his father opened an electrical business. Young Albert was quiet, thoughtful, and deeply attached to his violin. Rather than playing with other children, he preferred pondering big questions and immersing himself in music and books. Part 2. Education and Early Struggles. Albert started formal education in a Catholic school in Munich. Unfortunately, he disliked the rigid and authoritarian style of teaching. He craved freedom, intellectual and personal. At 15, his family relocated to Italy after his father's business failed. Albert joined them later and applied to the Swiss Federal Polytechnic School in Zurich, Switzerland. He studied physics and mathematics but often clashed with his professors, not out of arrogance, but because of his independent thinking. During college, he met Mileva Maric, a fellow physics student from Serbia. They would eventually marry. After graduating in 1900, Einstein had a hard time finding academic work. Eventually, he landed a job at the Swiss Patent Office in Bern. It was a modest position, but it gave him time to think and to write. Part 3. The Miracle Year. The year 1905 became known in scientific history as the Annus Mirabilis, or the Miracle Year. While still working at the Patent Office, Einstein published 4 revolutionary papers. 1 on the photoelectric effect, showing that light behaves like particles. This laid the groundwork for quantum theory. 2. On Brownian motion, providing experimental proof that atoms exist. 3. On the special theory of relativity, radically redefining our concepts of space and time. 4. And most famously, the equation E, or MC2, stating that energy and mass are interchangeable. These papers turned the scientific world on its head and catapulted Einstein from obscurity into the spotlight. Part 4. General Relativity and Global Fame. 10 years later, in 1915, Einstein unveiled his masterpiece, the General Theory of Relativity. In this theory, he proposed that gravity isn't a force in the traditional sense, but rather the curvature of space-time caused by mass. It was bold, complex, and untested until 1919. That year, during a solar eclipse, astronomers observed the bending of starlight by the sun's gravity, exactly as Einstein predicted. The news spread worldwide. Overnight, Einstein became a global celebrity, the face of modern physics. Part 5. Nobel Prize and Personal Life. In 1921, Einstein received the Nobel Prize in Physics, not for relativity, but for his work on the photoelectric effect. Though famous, Einstein led a simple life. He enjoyed walking, sailing, and playing his violin. He often said he thought in music. His personal life was complicated. His marriage to Mileva Maric ended in divorce. He later married his cousin, Elsa Lowenthal. He had 3 children, and one, his only daughter, remains a mystery, lost to history. Part 6. Social and Political Activism. Einstein wasn't only a scientist. He was also a humanist, pacifist, and civil rights advocate. As a Jew, he strongly opposed anti-Semitism and the rise of Nazism. When Hitler came to power in 1933, Einstein renounced his German citizenship and moved to the United States. He would never return to Germany. He became a vocal supporter of civil rights, befriending W.E.B. Du Bois and speaking out against racial segregation in America. Ironically, though he opposed war, Einstein co-signed a letter to President Franklin D. Roosevelt in 1939, warning that Nazi Germany might be developing an atomic bomb. This helped launch the Manhattan Project. Later, he deeply regretted it. Part 7. Life in the United States and Final Years. Einstein settled in Princeton, New Jersey, where he joined the Institute for Advanced Study. He continued working on a unified field theory, trying to link all fundamental forces of nature into one elegant framework. Though he never succeeded, he never stopped trying. He refused political positions, including the presidency of Israel, which he declined with humility in 1952. Einstein passed away on April 18, 1955, at the age of 76, due to internal bleeding from a ruptured aorta. Per his wishes, his body was cremated. However, without his family's consent, the pathologist who conducted the autopsy preserved his brain for study, a decision that remains controversial. Part 8. Legacy and Closing Thoughts. Albert Einstein's legacy extends far beyond his equations. He fundamentally reshaped our understanding of the universe and inspired generations to think bigger, dream deeper, and never stop questioning. To Einstein, curiosity was a way of life. He once said, "I have no special talents. I am only passionately curious." And also, imagination is more important than knowledge. Peace cannot be kept by force. It can only be achieved by understanding. Einstein was not just a physicist. He was a philosopher, a rebel, a dreamer. His mind reached for the stars, but his heart remained with humanity. Thank you for joining us for this journey through the life of Albert Einstein. May his story inspire you to keep questioning, keep learning, and keep imagining a better world. Until next time.